good evening. Welcome. I'm Mrs. Cardenas. It's so nice to meet you. I have a handout here for you. If you want to go ahead and grab a seat, we're going to actually get started right away. Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for coming. I'm Mrs. Cardenas. I am the third grade English teacher for Red Oak Dual Language this year. I wanted to let you know that I handed out this handout to you. If you didn't get it, there are plenty available on the tables, so go ahead and grab one if you didn't get one when you came in. A couple things I just want to point out on the handout. My contact information is on there, so my phone number and email. I do encourage families to reach out whenever you have questions or if you have any feedback or anything that you wanted to discuss. You can always reach me by my email or my phone. Of course, I won't be available during the class time, but I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. A couple things about me personally. I am married to my husband George, and we have two children, Jackson and Olivia, who actually went to Red Oak and are now at Northwood Junior High. So I'm happy to be back here at Red Oak. I love being part of this community. As far as my education, I went to College of Lake County for my Associate of Arts, and then I moved on to National Louis for my Bachelor's of Elementary Education. This is my first year teaching, and I'm very excited to be working with your children. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the structure of the dual language program this year. It's a little bit different as far as in kindergarten through second grade, your children had one teacher who taught both English and Spanish, the subjects in both English and Spanish. This year, they're going to have two teachers. I will be teaching the English side, and my co-teacher will teach the Spanish side. So the things that we're going to focus on in my classroom are English literacy, the core math block, as well as social studies. And then in the afternoon, your children will go to my co-teacher, who will teach them Spanish literacy, number corner, as well as science. And then those students that start in the morning with Spanish will come to me in the afternoon for English, and vice versa. I also want to tell you a couple things that I enjoy in my free time. I love puzzles and I love board games, and I love movies as well. So that's what you'll find me doing on the weekends, or spending time with my children, of course. I wanted to talk about some things that are important for you to know. I will be sending out a newsletter every week so that you know what we're doing in the classroom. I think it's important for collaboration so that you know what we're doing and what your children are learning at that time, so you can also help and maybe even ask them questions or kind of get them talking, and at least you'll have an idea of what we're working on. I have some classroom expectations. The biggest thing is that we work as a team. So my philosophy is that kids learn a lot from each other. So I focus a lot on group work and collaboration and working together, coming up with ideas. Part of my philosophy for education is student-centered. So kids learning from each other, asking questions, digging deeper, getting to know about each other, and that's part of the progressivist philosophy. I also believe in existentialist philosophy, which means that I think kids need to kind of discover things about themselves, so I want to give them time to kind of explore and learn like what subjects interest them, and give them time to like focus on those and something that interests them. And then we'll also be doing some social action philosophies, where they're going to discover a problem in the world and kind of research that problem, come up with some solutions about how we can resolve it. I think it's important for them to know how they fit into the world, and that we're all not only part of our community here at the school, but we're part of the community in Highland Park, and we're part of the community throughout the world. So it's important for them to kind of understand what's going on and how we all work together as a community. I want them to, another expectation is for them to be respectful, so they should be respectful of each other, not talking over each other. Raising their hands when they have a question is important, so that we're not all talking over each other, and we just need to be respectful of when our friends are talking, when the teacher's talking. It's important. Another thing is trying their best. We aren't always the best at everything, but if we put in the effort, then we will get better. celebrating success. So I think it's important to recognize when kids are doing well, and so I want to celebrate those successes. So not only will I give them rockets for when I notice them doing something really well, but they will also get, their friends will also put in rockets when they think that their friends are doing something really well as well. I think it's important, and I want to encourage children to celebrate their friends and encourage and promote their friends' ideas as well. So when they see their friends or hear their friends doing something wonderful or good, I want them to also celebrate those successes. Learning from mistakes. Third grade is a big year for responsibility and kind of learning about what we need to do, and following our schedule is important. So we will have a schedule so they know what's going on throughout the day, and then they'll have homework, and I want to make sure that they're learning responsibility and bringing that homework in. But that kind of helps out with the newsletter as well, where you'll know when they have homework and what's going on, and you can kind of help them turn that homework in or know that they have homework that's due. Again, we talked about them making a difference. I think it's important for them to understand how one person can make a change in the world by at least looking at problems and thinking about ways to problem solve. As far as a discipline policy, I believe in a proactive approach. So I think that we can eliminate or reduce disruptions and poor behavior by having a plan. So we will have our schedule every day on the board so they know what we're working on for that day. The room will be set up in ways where where it limits disruption. So they will have their station where they can get supplies and whatnot, and it will not be, it's not in the way of their friends, so they're not talking or disrupting. They can do those transitions really well. Of course, there will be times when kids inevitably will talk or act out or whatever. So my focus or my plan will be to redirect and come up with what's going on, what can we do, how can we get back in focus, and that's how I plan to approach that. As far as I think we've covered pretty much everything, but if you have any questions, I am always, again, available with my contact information, as I mentioned. Please give me a call or email me anytime you have a question, and I'm happy to answer you. I think it's very important, again, to have a collaborative relationship with the parents and with the family. So I thank you all for coming in. It was a pleasure to meet you all, and I look forward to working with you this year and your children. Thank you.